I just want to make sure I bring forward a few things to your attention. We did talk about the vaccine center. Certainly trying to get one for Gravenhurst as an actual center has been really an uphill battle, to say the least. I know that Shauna has worked at it. Councillor Cairns has been working on it. I've been, but it looks as though there will be the drive-through at some point in time in the near future. Again, proximity as to whether we have a vaccine clinic in Gravenhurst is really going to depend on the availability of vaccine. And how that all rolls out is going to be very interesting to watch. Keep your eyes, because every day there's a new twist to it. So that's one thing. I will mention to you all that yesterday we had our modernization committee and district council meeting with regard to what do we do with modernization district council. And I have to tell you that that probably, I can't recall since I've been on district council, a longer meeting than yesterday. The modernization committee met at 10 o'clock. We went till 11, had a break, and then we started writing district council at 1 o'clock, and we did not finish till after 8 o'clock last night. Of that time, I believe, with the hour earlier in the morning, and then I believe it was over 4 hours, maybe been close to 5 hours, that we debated the issue of modernization. And it really came down to two things. One was either having representation. We kind of came to a conclusion that 18, if we were going to do, 18 would be the number. And there were two ways of getting there. One was representation by population, or equal numbers from all municipalities. And that's where the line in the sand got drawn. And it really didn't make neither one. We brought both motions forward to council at district. Neither one of them passed. So they both failed. There wasn't enough support for either one of them. So then we were in a dilemma as to what we do at that point, because we do have to let the province know by the end of March what our recommendation is with regard to district council. So lo and behold, last night we passed a motion that we would stay status quo. So after all of the meetings in this past year and prior to that, we're really back at status quo. So I believe the next step, if I understand, I know Madam Clerk was on the call yesterday. If I understood it correctly, the next step is that District Council will be then forwarding down to us the motion, which is to status quo, which then we then deal with it as a triple majority, at that being the recommendation of District Council. Do I have that correct, Madam Clerk?
Thank you. Through the chair to council. Yes, we do need to receive something from the district clerk for council to consider, and my understanding is a triple majority is still required, even if the decision of district council was status quo.
Right. So that will be coming down to us to discuss further. It could very well be that there are some councils that choose to not agree to the status quo, which will send this down a whole other road should that happen. But where we're at is it'll be coming down to us as a council to look at the recommendation. But I want to give you a heads up, the recommendation coming from district is status quo. Also want to mention to you that you're familiar with the fact that on February 24th, the proposals were to be directed to Infrastructure Ontario with regard to the Muskoka Regional Centre. Mr. Davies has been in touch with IO to try to see if we can get a sense about what has happened and numbers and any proposals that have come forward. We haven't received that information yet, but we are chasing it down. So we're not letting that one go. So we're waiting to hear back from IO on that. And also, I should mention to you regarding the Ontario Fire College, that did come up earlier today. You've seen the number of municipalities that have created motions to support the rethinking of the Ontario Fire College being closed. I don't believe, I'm not convinced that they're prepared to make a change in that. However, there's nothing wrong with putting forward those motions. And so you've seen a lot of them. As of last night, District Council also, with Councillor Lorenz's recommendation, that we also sent one from District Council as well to request the reversal in that decision. In talking to the Fire Marshal, John Pegg, it certainly doesn't appear as though there is an interest in reversing the decision, but you never know. Miracles do happen. one of the things that I should share with you is that an issue was around security. One of the things that we were concerned about was the site being secure after March 31st. And one of the missing pieces was it's not gated. There's no gate on the front. That is being done and will be put in place before the closure on March 31st. So there is gated, and 24-hour security will be on site apparently throughout the time between when it closes and whatever may happen in the future. So we've been guaranteed that. One other piece I will share with you, I mentioned previously that there were a lot of ministry groups that were looking at furniture, other pieces that were existing at the Ontario Fire College that immediately other ministries were looking to try to abscond to their ministry. And I did send a letter to Minister Sylvia Jones and Mr. Thompson requesting that they please do not allow that to happen until we know for sure what the future looks like for the Fire College. One of the pieces that came up last night at council that was asked about fire chiefs and possibly could there be consideration regarding the Muskoka fire chiefs being part of the use of the facility as a one of the regional centers for training. What I did discover in talking with the Ontario Fire Marshal is that there is no funding coming from the province, at least there wasn't any up to this point in time, funding from the province to those regional centers. So all of the 20 regional centers will be funded by their local fire departments to run those training centers. And in this particular case, there is no money being set aside for this to be a regional center for Muskoka. So that could change. But at this point in time, that's an interesting piece that we didn't know about before. So the Fire College is still on the, but it's a long way away before I believe that it will come even to the point where it would be up for sale by the province. There are a number of hoops that have to be gone through before that could even happen. Our hope would be that certainly they might reverse it, and the motion with regard to district and all of the other ones that we've heard, hopefully they'll have some impact. I'm not sure, but it's worthwhile trying anyway. And lastly, I wanted to let you know about the local share for hospitals. It's going to come back to us. You may recall that in the fall of 2019, we were approached by MAC with regard to considering the cost of the 2 new hospitals. That group has not met since that time because of COVID, but there was a meeting a couple of weeks ago. There was a motion, a letter sent to municipalities in late December asking them to look at the issue of local share with budgeting at the municipal level. I advised them that was way too late. We had already done our budget, and I've requested if they want our municipality to be involved with local share, they're going to have to reissue a letter, and that would come to us in the fall prior to our budgeting process, so we consider. And other than that, I would expect that they will come back to you, us as council, to do another deputation to share with you what the status is on the local share related to the 2 new hospitals. But that'll be into the fall. But I wanted to bring you up to date that hasn't died. Those are still on the books.